Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play series in HOI4. Today we're going to be playing some of the Great War mod as Russia. So, here we are starting in May 1st, 1910. Not actually starting in January, which is a little bit strange. So, as Russia, we have some stability modifiers, but unfortunately we have a lot of negative effects because of our humiliating loss against the Japanese in 1905. Organization's going down, recovery rate's pretty bad, stability's pretty bad, and more training time as well. Is there a way? How do I remove that? Gotta be in here somewhere. Political effort. What is it called? It is called... Okay. TSU. Okay, so that replaces you with division training time. Actually, there's a positive modifier as well. So if we can make our way down to there, that would be nice. That does require us to go for a diplomatic effort. That seems okay. Decisions available. Let's go for our Army and Navy experience. And aside from that, we want our basic industry tax. It's 1910, so we can't afford some of this stuff. So you want research speed. We want reinforcement rate. We would want efficiency cap going up, as well as probably construction speed going up as well. We are currently 58 factories, 11 military factories, 8 dockyards, and 39 civilians. So civilian factories, I think, should be fine for a majority of our campaign here. So let's build some military factories deep within Russia. Sweden, Norway should not be getting involved in the war. We really only have to focus on the German and Austrian borders, as well as some down here in the Ottoman Empire as well. Okay, so 19 divisions I think should be good enough for this front line down to here. How many troops do we have in total? 157 divisions is quite a bit. We are missing a lot of equipment though, which is unfortunate. So we're gonna go for 8 on you. We'll go for, I mean, what do we actually need? Support equipment. Okay. The support equipment will go for 3. After that, a little bit of field artillery, horse-drawn vehicles, as well as probably just some aircraft. Not going to be getting built quite yet, but that is fine. Handful of you. And coastal submarines are pretty cheap. And I'm sure our fleet probably isn't the biggest. Actually, 176 ships is not horrible. I think this is an okay place for us to start. 77 immediately is just insane. So we'll get all of you underneath one field marshal. Slowly fill these all up to be 24 stacks, so we can easily afford that. We don't need any troops over by Russia at all, I think. Or not by Russia, by China at all, and the Japanese. The Japanese should join the Entente when it's required. Throw you into a different army. Who is not in an army? You guys are not in an army quite yet. Still not everybody. We have a 26 stack. You need to be in this army. Okay, so it's a lot of units for sure. We have 3 field marshals assigned. No, you should actually have the. No, actually, you're the best one. Put you into this army. Sign. Do we have enough generals for all of these guys? Edward the 7th has passed away. Doesn't matter so much for us. We're going to have to take a look at what our armies actually consist of. Because I know for the most part they're going to be god-awful. But can I just say, a lot of these guys have just fantastic beards. We still have more free civilian factories. We don't want it in the 40%. Yeah, just put more in this plus 70% region here. So we have 4 different types of infantry. We got 12 combat width, we have an 8th combat width, another 12, and an 8. So you're all basically garbage. The war is going to begin in about 4 years. We have 4 years to try to make this situation not garbage. And is it a manpower issue? A little bit. There's like 30,000 men missing, but that really shouldn't be a big problem for us as Russia. We're mostly missing 33,000 rifles. 2,000 support equipment, a handful of field guns, and a handful of transportation vehicles. We're in a bad shape, to say the least. But we have so many units. Like, just an absurd amount of army. Now, we can cover a lot of this front, no problem. Yeah, you should actually be up here. We'll send Santa Claus so he can defend the Ottoman border. And you can kind of fill in this last gap here. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Because, again, I don't think any of you guys will do anything. The Ottoman Empire is going to not necessarily explode, but, you know, the Balkan countries in a handful of years are going to be wanting to kind of take some territory in that region soon enough. We gotta get all of our forces across the... Yeah, I know there's nobody in basic training. We can't afford to put anybody in basic training. Are you out of your mind? We are very, very rich, though. We have so much wood. We have a ton of chromium. We got a lot of coal. We got a lot of steel. Everything is looking pretty good for the Russian economy. In so much as we shouldn't have to worry about... importing any resources. We should be fine for that. We can actually probably change our trade laws to even export more stuff. So we can get some more factories going. Draw your offensive lines. More offensive lines. And of course you guys are going to be pushing away to here. Of course, France, Italy... should be joining Entente. There is still a chance that they actually do just stick with the Central Powers. It's not impossible. But they are more than likely going to go for a Central Powers approach. Or for an Entente approach. And we will just create our agency right now. Try to get some information about Germany and Austria. Like, how much information we have? 10%? I mean, we don't have more troops than combined. France has a pretty decent-sized army. Spain should stay out of the war. Portugal should at some point intervene. I just don't know exactly when that will be. Promises of peace. Of course there's going to be no peace. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Limited exports. Yeah, if we can actually export more stuff. Because is there anything... Tungsten would be like the biggest worry. But other than that, really, we're fine. We make a ton of oil because we have Baku. We got a lot of... Like, we have so much stuff. We can easily export way more. And still be in a fantastic position. So I'm not too concerned. I mean, rubber and aluminum are kind of our only real issues. But once... I mean, that's going to be pretty secure. Because we're going to get a lot of resources from here. Which the Central Powers can't really impact at all. Well, we want to be getting our way down here as fast as possible. Western focus... Political power plus 100% is not bad. One following return Franz Ferdinand is dead. He is not dead quite yet. It claims a bunch of territory. I mean, what do we need to go down here? We need to assert our position in Asia. Okay. So we can do that, because I want to remove all these penalties. If we can not have horrible, organization, that seems like it'd be pretty good. And if we can actually get these armies to be trained up properly, like the German army right now is very, very well supplied, and I am eating shit, which is really like, how long is this going to take? 1,400 days. So it's going to take us about the time for the Great War to even begin for us to actually have enough rifles for our current army, which is really not where we want to be. What are our... Yeah, House Romanov's doing pretty well. We don't have to worry about that too much. I think I just do free trade. No! Export focus. I mean, can I export 80% and still be okay? I probably could, honestly. So you know what? We're already on partial mobilization. We're already unlimited. We probably don't even need to be unlimited, to be quite honest. I think we're going to go for free trade. Yeah, we're still fine. We're exporting way more oil. But even if we have to change this when the war actually begins, I still think that's okay. Because this should be giving us some more factories from trading. And also giving us those extra bonuses. What are the bonuses again? You know, the research speed, factory output, docket output, construction speed. All those are really, really nice, and we want them before the war actually begins. Factory output 10%, fantastic. More cap, seems good. Supply consumption going down a little bit is also nice. 1916 is a little bit, you know what? Research gain plus 5% as well. All those actually seem like they can benefit us a decent amount. What are you? Armor research speed plus 5%. Kind of garbage, I would say. How about you just build some intelligence in Germany? That seems okay. After that, we are going to go for decryption department. It'll give you some nice benefits when the war actually begins. What are our political advisors right now? We have Stott Marcus for, he's free. Rasputin for more political power gain. Honestly, we do want to get that going early. And you know what? You cost 0. So I might as well throw you in here, because, I mean, it doesn't hurt us at all. If it doesn't hurt, we might as well take it. Kingdom Montenegro has been proclaimed. So Serbia, when does your war against, January 1st, 1911. Italy does need to declare war on the Ottomans first. So, I mean, that should be happening next year. With Libyan claims. For January 1st, after August 8th, so I mean, okay, there's still a little bit of time for then. 960 days, I mean, that is quite a while. But by the time it's actually ready, the war will just be starting, and we could maybe get, like, a really early offensive push going on. And that wouldn't be so bad. Iran gets an infrastructure. I see no reason. We could occupy territory here, but we do want to kind of be on the same side as Britain. What do you do? At peace. Russia's at war. So you can actually only do this once we're actually at war with Persia. I mean, that's not actually a bad idea. Maybe once war actually begins, we can think about doing that. Because once Britain's in our faction, we don't have to worry so much about appeasing them anymore. Free factories as well. I mean, we need rifles, right? We're missing 30,000 of them. We've at least got them down to 900 days, which is less than 3 years. So by the time, like, 1913 starts rolling around, we can probably think of actually training up more actual units. Which would be nice. And all of my navy, by the way. You can't go up here? Portugal become a republic, that's fine. I'm guessing you're not allowed to go through the... Are we not allowed to go straight through here? No, we're actually not allowed to bleed the Black Sea. You guys can come up here. There's no reason for you to even be in Japan at all. And you're on 1916. Fuel per oil, though, we want to get you going. Allows you to build trenches. I mean, it wouldn't be bad. Air superiority goes up. Reinforcing rate goes up a little bit. You're all 1914 tech. I don't think any of our armies actually have artillery in them quite yet, so we don't really want to worry about that so much. Do we have any land doctrine? Yeah, we might as well get some land doctrine started up as well for the time being. We do have a lot of these guys who are green, but they're going to get worse off the more they actually reinforce. So there's really not so much we can do about that right now. More political power gain. None of you are like industry, which is unfortunate. Chief of Army, recovery rate. I mean, attack is really nice. Because defense in this mod, entrenchment speed. I mean, entrenchment speed, I mean, it's just speed. It's actually, it's not how much they can entrench. It's just how much. I mean, artillery attack and defense. But we're not going to go to war right now. And if we're not going to go to war, we don't want to be spending our points on that stuff, right? Because it doesn't help us until 1914. More stability, more factory output. You know what? We'll go for the editor. A little bit more stability, boost our factory output by I think actually 1.5%. Which is still good, because we need as many, how much can he hold? He can hold 200. We need as many, as many weapons as we can possibly get our hands on. We want to eventually fit all these armies with, like, field guns and whatnot. Like, how expensive is that going to be? It's going to cost us 1,600 just for you, which is insane. The Asian fleet has now arrived in St. Petersburg. Apparently, I still think this dock is Leningrad. It's currently not Leningrad. And it probably will not be Leningrad, I would imagine. I'm assuming the Bolshevik Revolution only actually fires if we're losing. And I don't have any intentions on losing. We have 3 armies in Germany, 3 armies in Austria. If we can get our way past the Carpathians into the plains of Hungary, it'll be really nice for us. Romania at some point should join the war. So, I mean, we could throw some units in there in the future as well. Infantry recovery rate. I mean, we'll get it. But again, we kind of want to, you know, we'll get trenches as well. We only really want to be getting techs and all that stuff that we can actually use right now. Yeah, the army research speed is just garbage. We would much rather have, like, tank designer for the reliability. Mexico declared war on Mexico. We can't do this because China and Qing are not actually in a civil war right now, so we can't quite push our treaty here. I mean, we can occupy Manchuria. I mean, that seems pretty good for us. 2 military factories? It's hard to say no to that. A lot of production, actually, for a lot of coal and steel. Army experience goes up. I mean, most of these techs I find are kind of, most of these folks, I should say, are kind of garbage. The amount of benefit they actually give you isn't that much. 38 more oil is not bad. Political effort. I mean, Balkan politics does give us 100 political power and 5% stability. It's got to be the best option we have there. So you two guys are now fighting in Mexico. I don't know how much impact the United States has there quite yet. Who's actually going to win here? 11 to 77, 13 to 44. So probably the Mexican opposition is more likely to win. Just because they have more troops, which typically tends to help you. I'm assuming our cavalry divisions are also garbage. Yeah, they're also a combat with, which is not great. If we can make them at some point like 40 combat with, like that could be interesting. I wonder if it actually even makes sense to consolidate these guys down in the smaller armies. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know if it actually makes any real difference. Don't want to build anything in Poland, because if anything gets occupied first, it's going to be there. 50%. We're looking for some, like, 60... We can. Yeah, we'll build some over in Finland. Other than that, it really does seem like 50% is the best we're going to get. We'll build some in Novgorod as well. Because we consolidate our armies down. It allows us to build bigger units. I mean, what's better? Having a bunch of smaller units has to be worse than having a bunch of beefy units. So how many of these guys we have? We have 69. Nice of them. And if we were to at least make them 20 combat with, and then consolidate them all down, plus there's another 27,000 rifles. I mean, it's quite a bit. Like, how large do you think their armies are? One of them is 6 to 13. So they're probably about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. Right now we're missing 24,000 rifles. That's about 1 year production. So we can double the size of these units. It's going to cost twice as much infantry equipment. But that's still only 2 years worth. So let's at least make you 20 combat with and with support artillery. I think it's okay. Crank you up to 5 as well. Because we still have more production here. Because that should take about 732 days. That slightly more than 2 years. But again, once this starts picking up, we're still only like halfway for the cap here. Once that starts picking up, we should be able to make rifles a little bit faster. You're 8 combat width, and you're just horrible, horrible, horrible. How many of the 8 combat widths do we have? We have 27 of them. I'm going to make you into a different symbol just so I know which ones you are. And if you're part of the MPs, you're also just getting switched over to the better army. Again, it's going to be very, very, very expensive. But we just don't want them, right? Don't strategically redeploy. It makes no sense. Switch you all over. We're going to be missing so many rifles. I think that's all of them gone. Yes. And then we're going to make them just, like this. We're going to put you just on local police force. How many rifles are we missing now? We're missing 67,000. Which, honestly, it's still not that bad. It's going to make our army just, like, 10 times better. I mean, getting the cap... I mean, cap plus 2% really isn't that much of a benefit. The 10% factory output is so much more useful. But that's years from now. Research P plus 1%? Yeah, we'll go for that. But I do think that for right now, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching my second Quam. If you've enjoyed, run a thumbs up. And not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe. And goodbye.